from the very beginning of the Nonprofit Council, it was very clear, Scott had a very clear vision that he really wanted to include as many nonprofits as possible, offer as many opportunities for learning as possible. Professional development oftentimes in nonprofits is something that's harder to come by because of finances. So the Nonprofit Council over the years has offered a multitude of opportunities for learning and for that are thought provoking, and help you kind of think outside the box, in terms of how you may provide service or how you may look at hiring, incoming staff, those kinds of things. So I think the Nonprofit Council has been just key in providing those kinds of things for those of us in the sector. I think it's a great way to quickly meet people. People in the sector are very welcoming. We work really well together. As I said, we know each other very well. And I think that the Nonprofit Council provides that vehicle for that to happen. So I would recommend to anybody coming into the sector to join the council. It's a great way to really kind of jumpstart meeting people and learning who can be partners. So you can leverage dollars and leverage thought making and all those things that we need to do to stretch our resources as far as we can. So yeah, I would definitely be a cheerleader for anyone coming into the nonprofit sector in San Antonio who's new to join the Nonprofit Council, without a doubt.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of TNC Talks Non-Profit. I'm Scott.
I'm Mercedes. And today we have Dawn Dixon, who is the president and CEO of ConnectAbility. I'm sorry, Dawn. This is not usually how we start our podcast, but you're a friend of ours and we know you well.
It's all good.
So, Dawn, why don't you tell us first, before we talk about your story and how you became the CEO, executive director, whatever, all the C's, of ConnectAbility. Why don't you tell us about what ConnectAbility does for our community?
So we started 10 years ago in March of 2016. And it was an initiative of the Warm Springs Foundation. I think you all know that the Warm Springs Foundation used to, the Warm Springs Hospital system is, when it was sold in 2006, that's what basically allowed the Warm Springs Foundation to start. So in 2011, the Warm Springs Foundation started inviting grantees in the first grant cycle that they did. And it was all agencies who worked with individuals with disabilities. So kind of flash forward to 2016, ConnectAbility works with individuals and their families who've had a catastrophic type of disability, like a brain injury, a traumatic brain injury, a stroke, an amputation, a spinal cord injury. So those kinds of, or similar conditions, but that functionally present with the same barriers and challenges. So really those kinds of disabilities or conditions that you're on your way to work one day and you're in a car accident and you have a traumatic brain injury.
So like a sudden...
Yeah, and your life changes.
Yeah.
Or a similar disabling condition that you may have been disabled for 10 years using a wheelchair, but because of your insurance benefits or your lack of insurance benefits or your lack of access to healthcare, which we all know is a big concern, you need assistance navigating a different path. You need assistance something's changed in your condition that now you need a different type of power chair.
Right.
And you need some help figuring out the best way to go about affording that and getting fit for that and all those kinds of things that people need even further and further down the road in their kind of disability journey.
Was the Warm Springs Hospital, it wasn't a typical hospital, right? Was it?
Warm Springs Hospital, they were all
therapy and rehab,
an acute rehab hospital. Mm-hmm.
So hence the foundations fund this organization,
Yeah.
ConnectAbility.
Yeah. And so we offer care coordination, which is that navigation, right? We offer what I like to call aftercare, which is we host a variety of support groups for people with all different types of disabilities. We offer educational classes like diabetic cooking, and rent-wise, understanding your rights as a renter, especially if you have a disability,
Right.
all those kinds of things. Um, and then we also do fun events that bring people together because we've figured out that if we can bring people together and just give them a space to meet and socialize with each other, they will form their own natural supports. We just need to get out of the way. We
Right.
just give them
It's kind of like
the
TNC with
opportunity.
the EDs and CEOs.
Yeah, yeah,
A
absolutely.
safe space to.
And it's a safe space. And
Yeah.
so those are recreational things. Um, and so that's because we want to build community. Having a severe disability can be very isolating,
Mhm.
as you know.
You can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, and very isolating for families. And
Right.
so those kinds of opportunities that are more social really just give people an opportunity to develop their community.
How
So,
often do y'all do the fun event?
oh gosh, at least one a month,
Mhm.
but 3 big ones a
Oh,
year.
okay.
So like a
Really?
fall, a spring, and then a holiday for
Wow.
our members, and those are folks who attend classes, attend the
Okay.
support groups, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how did you come to be the ED of ConnectAbility? Do you have a family member affected by disabilities? Is it a passion? How did you get into this role?
Well, yeah,
And go back as far as you'd like.
I was a certified orientation and mobility instructor, which are the folks that teach people with visual impairment how to travel, how to
Okay.
use canes, the white cane, how to use public transit, those kinds of things.
Oh,
So, yeah,
And are you from Houston?
yeah,
Okay.
grew up in Friendswood, which is south of
Yeah.
Houston. So, yeah, I did my internship there. And then, got promoted, did
Mhm.
work adjustment training, and then I became a vocational evaluator. But I've worked with people with disabilities my entire career, whether it be chronic mental health, children with special health care needs. I was a vocational rehab counselor for the state of Texas, and worked with all types of, all types of disabilities. So I've always worked with people with disabilities and their families.
interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a family member with disabilities
No,
or like where did that
I
passion come
don't.
from, do you think?
Um, you know, I I think just growing up in a household that, um, we were raised to care for other people, to realize that we had more than many,
Mhm.
to and to share that. It was just I think it's just something that was instilled in us, growing up. Um, when we moved from I worked in Dallas for a little while at Center for Healthcare Services there. When we moved, to San Antonio, I from Houston, I worked for the MS Society, the Multiple Sclerosis Society, um, and then there was a Dr. Sokol, Marion Sokol was leaving Any Baby Can, so I applied for that position, and it was funny because I'd never been an executive director before. I mean, you're not born one. I mean, at some point, and so went through multiple interviews with
Right.
different factions of their board, and, it's like, "Well, you've never been an executive director." It's like, "Well, no, I haven't." But, you know, anyway, but
And this was their I mean, Marion was the
was the founder.
founder, so
Yeah.
this was
So
their first.
this was a
Yeah.
big change, a
Uh-huh.
huge change
Yeah.
for them, and in some ways, I'm glad I didn't know the stellar foundation that Marion had in this community and still has,
Mhm.
because I wouldn't have applied.
Yeah.
Because I didn't. It's difficult to step into the shoes of the founder and
Right.
someone who's had such an important role,
Right.
Mhm.
not just with the families that Any Baby Can serve, but with this community.
Right.
And I wouldn't have applied. I would have been like, "Oh, no, 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 nope, nope, not
So it
for me."
helped you since you weren't from the community,
Yeah, it
you
really
kind of
did.
went, "Yeah,
It really
okay,
did.
what
I
is
was
this?
sorta like, "Well,
What do
okay."
I got to lose?"
Yeah, and it's like, it's a great mission.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's almost 20 years old at that time. So, I got that job at Any Baby Can, and, I was there for 14 years.
Oh, wow.
And I loved it.
And that's where we met.
Yes.
I didn't realize Marion was the founder of that.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had her on the podcast. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, she's retired, but she's
still very active.
No, she is.
Yeah.
And I think always will be.
Yeah.
She's got a heart for this sector and for the families that we support. Whatever agency you're with, we all support families. So that's in a nutshell my journey.
And 14
I mean,
years.
there were some twists and turns, but yeah, always worked with people with disabilities. Yeah, so 14 years, and grew the organization.
Yeah.
We were able to open an office in New Braunfels. We acquired the Any Baby Can that was already existing in Kerrville, so we had an office in Kerrville at the time. Yeah, so we were fortunate to be able to do that, and always had great people on our board. I mean, wonderful stewards of the mission. Really, their heart and soul was in the mission.
And when you went to, it wasn't ConnectAbility when you first.
Well, we didn't have a name. It was just me sitting at the Warm Springs Hospital in the basement.
Oh, that's right. I never got to see that office, but I heard
it was cavern.
Well, yeah. And I mean, we still have the space there because that was part of the sale of the hospital, was that the foundation would be able to keep that space. And, in hospitals, whether it's a medical surgical hospital or a rehab hospital, space is a premium.
Right.
I mean, once you have it, you don't let it go.
Right.
And so I literally was sitting there my first day by myself in the office going, well, I guess I need a desk. I know. And then to kind of figure out what kind of services we wanted to provide.
So did you have a lot of input on that?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
At this no name initiative, I did kind of focus groups with the grantees and with their families, that they serve, and kind of was like, well, where are the gaps? And people know where the gaps are.
Right.
You know what you're not getting.
Right.
You know what you're not getting. Ask the families.
Yeah.
And ask the providers.
Right.
We know what families know what they need.
Duplicate.
No, there was
folks are doing.
No point in duplicating. And this is a unique population that has unique needs. And so it was, so I did that. I think now it's called a listening tour.
Yeah.
That's the shiny
marketing
new,
people.
It's a shiny new term.
That's what your CMO would have called it. So did that. And that's how we developed really the kind of the bones of what we thought would be something that people would need. So the care coordination. We were so fortunate to be able to really create the care coordination program the way we thought it would work best. It wasn't because the foundation was funding this initiative completely. So I was able to say, I think we need to have a home visitation model, because when you have the privilege of going into someone's home,
you learn a lot.
You really learn a lot. And when people are in crisis, especially following something like a loved one has now on a lifelong disability, oftentimes families will say, I only need this. This is all I need. And
that's all they can
I'm
focus
golden.
on.
Yeah, then I'm fine. But with a home visit, and it's an expensive model.
Oh, I'm sure.
But with a home visit, you're able to, like I said, if you have the privilege of being able to go into someone's home and they trust you to come in there, to say, there are some other things that we can help you with.
Yeah.
That'll help stabilize you. That'll help start to build your toolbox.
Yeah.
That
they may not have thought of.
Or didn't know that we could help with.
Right.
We are very fortunate. We can help we have crisis dollars in our budget that we can help with purchase of durable medical equipment. We help with home modifications for people who need a ramp to be able to get back into their home. That when they left their home, they didn't need a ramp. Now they need a ramp, and they need door widening, and they need their restroom refitted.
Yes.
They need a roll-in shower.
For some of these things, do you partner with other? I'm imagining you partner with other
Absolutely.
agencies here, like
Absolutely.
Project Mend.
Project Mend
Yeah.
is a big partner. I mean, they are practically our best friends.
We went to their new, well, it's not super new, but their new facility, and it was
It's
really impressive.
It
fabulous,
is. And they've already
especially
outgrown.
I know, especially when you look at where Project Men had been housed,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Street.
yeah, on Austin Street, and Kathy has done a pot. She's yeah,
She did.
but so I'm not saying anything out of school
No.
where you had to put a hard hat on to go into the warehouse.
Yes.
And so to see this facility that they're in now, it's wonderful.
And the flow and the design is
it's
so great.
so and it's just so well thought out and so intentional.
Mhm.
And yeah, and like you said, now they've already outgrown it, which just goes to show you the need,
That's it.
right? Yes, we work very closely with them. We work closely with TeamAbility.
Okay. That makes
We-
sense.
from a therapy standpoint.
Mhm.
So yeah, we work with a lot of partners in the community. But those are things that I think in more traditional programs might not be able to assist with financial payment for those kinds of things.
Right.
Because regardless of your insurance, whether it be, and when you have a catastrophic disability like that, we're all underinsured.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
what kind of insurance we have, we're all underinsured. Home mods is not something
That's
that is typically paid for. If a child is on Medicaid, they get they can get a home mod allowance for bathroom or those kinds of things. But that's for children. That's not for adults.
Wow.
And so we're able to do those kinds of things. We have touch points where we call and follow up because things can change so rapidly
Mhm.
from the time you get out of the hospital till 90 days down the road and you're going, oh, I had no idea we were going to need this. So we have touch points that we touch base with people and may bring them back in and continue to work with them. So the care coordination model I think is unique and we feel really honored that we've been able to continue that for 10 years.
Wow. So how many staff do you have now?
We have 9.
9. Wow. You've grown even.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you had that many.
Yeah.
And mostly folks who are going into the homes, kind of like caseworkers.
Yeah. We call them care
Care
coordinators.
Care
Yeah.
coordinators, sorry.
Yeah. And
Nice titles.
well, exactly. But there is a connotation to a care coordinator versus a case manager.
Yeah.
Very interchangeable in the tasks, but I wanted to be sure that that part of our culture
Mhm.
is that we don't ever look at a person and say,
You're a case.
"You're a case,"
Yes.
Yeah.
You're taking
or
care
"Your
of something.
case is closed."
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Your
that's
care provider.
yeah, a care provider. And so I think because we're, at the end of the day, we're there to not to fix people, but to support people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I think that's something that's part of our culture that we've really cultivated, and it's very, very important to us that we maintain.
Yeah. And so does the foundation still support financially the organization?
Foundation still supports the organization. However, in 2020, at the very end of 2020, great timing, we spun off to be our own 501c3. And so, yeah. And so now we have community partners and community funders who assist us with that crisis fund.
Okay.
And we're very fortunate. The Warm Springs Foundation provides kind of that back office overhead. I shouldn't say overhead. None of us are overhead. But the personnel
Right.
kind of support so we can ask community partners and funders to help us with the home modifications and the cost for durable medical equipment and the copays for prosthetics and all those things that people need to get on with their lives.
Right.
So there's still a role of fundraising
Yes,
within your
there
organization.
is. Yes, for the past 5 years. Yes.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Good times. Yeah.
There always is.
There always is. I
It
know.
may not start that way.
I know. Well, I felt really fortunate. I had I mean, gosh, 5 years where I
know.
Didn't have
But
to
that was-
dig in for dollars.
But you
Nothing.
had to focus on building.
building the
Right.
program,
Yeah.
Right.
the programs,
So at least they allowed that.
which was wonderful.
Yeah.
And the Warm Springs Foundation continues to be very, very supportive of us. I mean, ConnectAbility is their initiative.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the hospital is completely
Hospital is
picture,
owned by
there's no-
post-acute medical.
okay. So there's
Pam,
no
Pam Rehab.
okay.
Yeah.
So no more money is flowing into the foundation. That was their
That was the initial sale.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the foundation is very fortunate to have oil and mineral rights
Oh.
that continue to assist with keeping dollars there.
Right.
which is great.
So so the foundation's grown, which is wonderful because they're planning on doing more in the community.
More to come on that.
More to come on that,
Okay.
yes. But that's the plan, is that they can make an even larger imprint in the community and help more people with these types of disabilities.
So we'll do an interview with the CEO of the Warm Springs Foundation.
Yes.
As a nice follow-up.
Yes,
That's a good
absolutely.
idea.
It is.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing.
You're
Anything
welcome.
else in your past that we should know about that you've
Denise
left
Barker.
out?
Yeah.
Denise went way
She
back.
talked about walking down
I
Pat Booker
know.
Road at some point.
Oh, Denise.
So
As
listen
a
to her
kid, and then
episode.
she's like, I hope my mom doesn't listen to this. She knows it was a good childhood. It's just,
Yeah. And Denise is a friend, so
yes.
Um,
But didn't know about that.
Pat Booker,
No.
walking down Pat Booker. Let me see, is there anything else? I mean, you know me pretty well. Is there anything else?
See, I always
Okay, what's the worst job you ever had then? Like in high school, did you have a job in high school or
Oh,
college?
yes. I worked at not Chick-fil-A, Ron's Crispy Fried Chicken in
Oh.
Friendswood, and I wore a polyester uniform.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
that must have been hot.
It was
that
hot.
Friary area.
And I was
In
only 15.
Houston.
I was only 15. Mm-hmm.
That's-
Yeah. And then I worked at the Swiss Pretzel Shop in Baybrook Mall.
I think those.
She
Listen,
was a pretzel girl. Well, this was a great episode.
yeah, it was a nice way to end it.
Yeah. Laughing. We started it laughing. We ended it
There
laughing.
There you go. Well, if you don't have laughter, you have to be able to laugh at things.
Totally.
And that's one thing about this sector. We do very, very heavy work. Very heavy
Yeah.
work sometimes. And it's important to keep perspective and keep your sense of humor.
Mhm.
Because you got to. I always tell our staff, it's like y'all are sponges, and you have to be able to wring it out at the end of the day,
Yeah.
That's true.
or you're not going to be able to come back and
Do it again.
do it
tomorrow.
again
Yeah.
tomorrow. So I think that's
Yeah, well, we're all fortunate to have all of you all in the roles that you have and play in the community, because we were just talking about that earlier today, just Mercedes and I, about what's made this job fun at the council is
The amazing people
that,
we work
mm-hmm.
that y'all are all so passionate about what you do.
Yeah. This San Antonio is unique.
Yeah.
I've worked in Houston, I've worked in Dallas, worked in DC for a little while. San Antonio is unique, and everybody, we all know each other so well, which can be good and bad.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I know I could pick up the phone and call anybody
Right.
Yeah.
and say, I need help. I mean, I remember when we lost our CFO passed away very suddenly at Any Baby Can when I was there. And I literally picked up the phone and called Chuck
Right.
to help finish a grant budget. It's like I'm calling the CFO at Big Brothers Big Sisters to help me finish a grant budget.
Right.
I mean,
That's pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
I remember that.
yeah, that's pretty amazing. And he was like, "I'm there," I mean, so
And Denise was the CEO then.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's those kinds of things that this sector really fosters, and
The relationships.
and we're lucky.
I agree 100%.
Well, thank you again
You're welcome.
for being a guest on the podcast. And we hope you all enjoyed the episode. We will see you next time on TNC Talks Non-Profit. I'm excited to share with you some news that our podcast is now available to watch exclusively on Roku and Amazon Fire. Check it out on the Nonprofit Network.